What's going on YouTube? This is Nick07 with another video, again on iTunes9. This video is going to be really just the features. I just finished watching the keynotes, so it's going to be, we're going to look at all the features that iTunes9 has with your iPhone, your iPod, and also a little app on the iStore, a little more in depth with the Genius. So I'm going to go more in depth. So this is an iTunes9 in-depth review, I guess. So here we go. Okay, so I have my little sister's iPhone hooked up. So we're gonna start out with that really quick. So if you haven't seen the keynotes, there's a lot of different things that they talk about with the better syncing, with improved syncing. So the first one is you have to have, what I've noticed, if you have 3.0, if your iPhone doesn't work, so you have to have 3.1 for this to work. It might not be true with the 3G and the 3GS models, but it could be, I'm not sure. So anyways, so as you can tell, I do have 3.1, and the new thing on all the syncing, all the little syncing menus are a tiny bit different, but the big thing is on the applications. Now, it was a big thing that the applications, you're not able to look at each page individually already on your computer and make pages. You can make pages and redesign all your pages. It's very, very simple. Instead of doing it on your phone, you can do it right here and already have it synced up every time you do it. So if you wanted to move if you wanted to move some app, say we wanted to move Pandora here. So if I wanted to move it somewhere on this page, or if I wanted to move it to another page, you can do that, or you can just move it back. So I mean, doesn't really matter. You can also move multiple apps at the same time. So you're just holding down your shift key, you pick as many apps as you need to, and you know what? It's like, I don't want that there, I want that on page 5. So you can do it on page 5, you do it on page 4, or you can just put it back where it was. So you can do multiple apps at the same time. And it's also very simple to delete apps and bring them back. I mean, just like when you had them before, you can pick, it's pick an easy one for my listeners to get mad at me, right here, Google Earth. So if it's like, well, I don't want Google Earth anymore, so bye-bye Google Earth. So it's not going to be there, and all you have to do is hit apply, and it's going to apply right back. So, and on the side right here, you have all your different applications that you have. It shows you the ones that you have, of course, that are check marked, and the ones you don't have, which are not check marked, by name, category, or date. So you have all those different ones that you can choose from. Now, when it comes to music, there's also improved syncing with music. And this is not just for the iPhone, but also for the iPod and iPod Touches. So what it is, as usual, you can select your entire library to sync, or you can do selected playlists. But also, you also have the ability to sync only certain artists. So say I want my entire library, but I want to make sure, or say I just want this playlist that I created, but I want to make sure I still have all of, I don't know, Black Eyed Peas on there. So you can click off the artist and you'll always have all your Black Eyed Peas on there, even though you only have a certain playlist. So they have more variety of different playlists. And the same thing goes with movies. You can automatically sync all of them if you needed to. You can also sync the most recent, or just like with the music, you can sync which ones you always want to keep. So if you only want to update automatically, the 3 most recent movies you've bought, but you always wanted to keep, say, Baby Mama on there, then you can always keep it on there. So that's a really good new feature that they put on there. Same thing goes for the TV shows, and same thing goes with photos. Now when you sync photos, let me do selected right here. You also have the ability to, it's not here, but you also have the ability to sync certain photos. So, it's not there. There it is, that's why. With iPhoto, I'm sorry, not my pictures. With iPhoto, if you select albums, you also have the same ability. So, if you're on a Mac, you have iPhoto, but if you're on a regular PC, you would have your pictures folder. So you can select, I want a certain album. You You can also check events, but you also have the ability to select faces. So say I want, I want all my last imported that was just imported, but I also want my trip that I took to Cancun, but I also want to make sure that I keep all mom's pictures in there. I want to make sure I keep all of, say, my dad's pictures in there. So you can pick certain faces to always keep on your iPod, your iPhone, or your iPod Touch. So you also have that. You have now you can select specifically what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. So it's very nice, improved syncing. So that's in depth for the syncing process. Now, in depth, we're not going to apply these changes. So in depth for home sharing. As I talked about home sharing in my other video before, talking about my iTunes review, home sharing is, the big thing about it is that before it used to just be streaming. We can all just stream from iTunes regularly, but with home sharing, we have a bigger spectrum. We have, when you activate home sharing, you have the ability to copy and share movies, music, and TV shows. Whatever is in your library, you have the ability to share. There is a limit to only 5 computers, but this is a giant step forward. Before we can only hear it, or we can only play it back, hear certain songs, but here you have the ability to copy entire playlists. So you have your home sharing activated on all your computers, and say your little sister has an album that you don't have. You can copy everything from her. You can copy all that music, and it's going to come to your library automatically. And you have different options. I don't have mine activated, but you have different options where you can look at all the music they have on their library, or you can select the ones maybe you don't have and you don't want, so you can share that all over. I can, and if you want to see more in depth than that, I'll activate it later. Just leave a comment below, or just send me a private message, and I'll show you a little more on that if you want to know more about home sharing. Now, Genius, I was going back and forth with this. I couldn't really try to get it to work the way I wanted to, but Genius also has a big thing. It's besides just a regular Genius. Genius has gotten really far from when they first did it, so it's a lot better picking of the music that you have. But also there's a new thing called Genius Mixes. I was trying to make one, but I couldn't really figure out how to do it, so you guys can try to figure that out on your own. Sorry about that. But what it is you can it's like having your own personal DJ play infinite amount of mixes of all different songs. It's just like Genius itself, but Genius Mixes can make up to 12 mixes at a time, and you can have all this different music with all from maybe different genres, but that will go well together, so you can have this infinite playing of music. Okay, so we looked at home sharing, Genius, and also the syncing. Now let's go to the iTunes store more in depth. So as we can see,